The Poorly Polar Bear by Emily Joyce. Hello again. Welcome aboard the counting ship. I'm glad you accepted my invitation to join me on another adventure to the most northern tip of the Indigo Ocean. The seas have become icy and we're wrapped in warm coats against the chilly breeze in the air. We've just seen a snow-covered bay where we can dock the counting ship and explore this wintry wonderland. So make sure you're snuggled into your blankets and close your eyes so you can begin to look out through your mind's eye. Let's step off the boat and feel the crunch of snow beneath your boots as we walk into the wintry land. Look, there's a polar bear. We'll have to be very careful, although he doesn't look very well to me. Do you see how his big white head hangs from his strong, broad shoulders? He looks so very tired. And look, he's just laid down in the snow. I think he must be poorly. Hello there. Are you all right? The polar bear turns his weary head in our direction and tucks his gigantic paws into his chest. I don't think I am, he says sadly. Whatever's the matter? I'm feeling very poorly. My tummy hurts, and all of a sudden I feel terribly cold. I feel I could hibernate for 100 years, but I haven't got the strength to make a den. Oh dear. Would you like us to fetch your friends to come and help you? I haven't got any friends, sniffs the bear. Everyone sees a polar bear and runs away. But I'm not like that, you see. I'm a vegetarian, he says with a tear in his dark black eyes. You poor thing. Well then we can be your friends, can't we? Thank you. I've always wanted to have some real-life friends. My name is Howard. Well, Howard, my friend and I would like to help you get well again. We'll help you get snuggled up and warm. In fact, I see some others coming. It's 3 little penguins. Hello there. Could you help us? That's a polar bear. Run! Run away quickly. No, it's all right. His name is Howard, and he's a vegetarian. A vegetarian polar bear, says the next penguin. I've never heard anything like it. No, neither had we. But he's very poorly, and he doesn't have any friends, so we're going to help him build a den. The penguins whisper amongst themselves, bristling their feathers and shaking their beaks at each other. I think everybody needs a friend. My name's Penny, and these are me cousins, George and Colin. It's very nice to meet you all. I'm so happy you'll help us. First, we need something to keep Howard warm. I know. We'll ask all the penguins in the colony to give us 1 feather each, and in no time at all, we'll have a lovely soft pillow and a cosy, warm blanket, says Penny. Perfect.
I have a torn old sail back on the counting ship. You can use that for the bed sheets and the pillowcase. It's in the trunks below the deck of the counting ship. We'll find it, don't you worry. We saw your ship as we passed through. You look after Howard and we'll sort out the blankets.
I'm gonna donate all my feathers, except for a strip down the middle of me head and all down me back,
says George.
I think I'll probably look dead cool, like having a big Mohican hairdo.
I think you're more in danger of looking a bit ridiculous there, George.
And I think cool is the right word. You'll freeze your beak off. Aye, you might be right there, Colin. Perhaps I'll just give him some feathers from somewhere where I don't get too cold. Like me bum. I've never really had a cold bum.
You are not going to give a poorly polar bear feathers from your bum, George.
He's feeling poorly enough without your bum feathers.
We can talk about this on the way to the colony. Come on, let's go. Well then, Howard, that's your bedding sorted. So how about we build you a shelter? The wind is beginning to pick up, and we could make you an igloo.
Well, you're very kind, but I'm a little afraid of the dark. I can't get to sleep without the light of the moon and the stars, and on some nights, the northern lights.
Excuse me, ladies and gents. I couldn't help overhearing. Who is this? It looks like a beaver. But what is a beaver doing in the middle of this wintry land? She's dressed in a warm, puffy jacket, and she has a small pair of earmuffs to keep her ears warm and toasty. My name is Teresa the Beaver, and I'm here on a science expedition. All my friends like building with sticks and the bits of wood that flow across the river, but I wanted to investigate snow-based engineering, says Teresa proudly. I could build you an igloo with a skylight, a very special window at the top of the igloo, and you could see right the way through. You'd be warm and snuggly, but with a view of the stars. That sounds fantastic, but where would you find glass for a window? I made some new friends since I got here. You know the narwhals? A narwhal is a kind of great big whale with a long tusk on its nose, like a unicorn. Well, they make these big holes in the ice, and if you line up enough holes and jump right on the top, you know what you got? You got a big round strip of pure ice, clear enough to see the stars through. I could use that at the top of the igloo. Teresa, you're a genius. How does that sound, Howard?
That sounds wonderful. I almost feel better already.
Teresa, you go and fetch the ice from the narwhals, and we'll begin to build the bricks of snow, ready for the igloo. I had this idea for the longest time, says Teresa. I can't wait to get started. And off she goes. So now let's build some bricks. Scoop up some snow and pat them into a long brick shape. And by the time we're ready to build, the bricks should be hard enough to build with. Brilliant. Let's make as many as we can. And look, as you scoop up the snow, you've uncovered something unusual. It's a toadstool growing under the snow. It's perfectly white with ice blue spots. I've seen many types of toadstool before, but never one quite like this. I didn't even think they could grow in these cold conditions. Unless, let's clear a little more of the snow around it. Yes, look, it's a ring of toadstools. That means there might be something magical about them.
Snow fairies, says Howard. I've heard of them, but I've never seen one.
Yes, exactly, Howard. That's just what I was thinking. Perhaps we can summon one to come and help us. All you have to do is stand in the middle and give them a rhyme. So now let's stand in the middle of the toadstools and clear our minds. Take a deep breath and concentrate. Fairies, fairies, this we ask, help us with our wintry task. And look, fluttering around our heads, the size of a butterfly, is the most beautiful little fairy. She has a dress to match the toadstools, perfectly white with icy blue spots, and her wings are like the finest lace of an intricate snowflake. And she flutters over to Howard and lands right on top of his nose. And then she whirls around his giant paws so very quickly.
What's this?
Says Howard, looking down to his paws.
It's a big, warm mug of soup,
he says. He brings it to his nose and takes a sniff.
It's broccoli and potato, my favourite.
The fairy giggles and she's off again. As Howard drinks his warming soup, the fairy flutters to each of our snowy bricks and whirls around them. And every brick she dances round is turned into 2 bricks, sturdy and strong and ready to use. And the snow of each brick seems to glitter in the sunlight. Glitter with fairy magic. What a lot of bricks, says Teresa the beaver, balancing an enormous round slab of clear ice right on top of her head. Hello, Teresa. Yes, we've had a bit of help. And the fairy giggles again and dips one leg behind the other, like a little curtsy in the air. Well, the narwhals were very helpful indeed, says Teresa. And I can't wait to get started. The light is starting to fade, and we need to get finished before dark. And she's almost like the little fairy herself, the way she bustles around the sparkling snow bricks, placing them in a wide circle. And as we help her place one brick on top of the next, the fairy giggles around us, using her special powers to lift the highest bricks. "Yee, look at all this. You've been busy," says Penny the penguin, waddling over to the igloo with George and Colin. "Yes, Penny, we've nearly finished. Did you manage to get any feathers for the blanket?" "You could say that," says Colin, unravelling an enormous blanket, big enough for 2 or 3 polar bears.
"And we've got 2 great big pillows," says George. "We thought you might like extra neck support."
"The truth is we've had loads of donations. It's a very big colony and everyone wanted to help," says Penny. "We put all the feathers in that old sail that we found on the counting ship, and me Nana sewed it all up for us. She's dead handy with a needle, you know."
"This is wonderful,"
says Howard.
"Thank you all so much."
"We're ready for the final piece of ice, for the skylight, right at the top of the igloo," says Teresa the beaver, and the little snow fairy flutters down and dances round and round the ice, so it rises up in the air, and she places it gently on the top of the igloo. And it's finished. A wonderful round igloo, made of glittering snow bricks, with a ceiling of ice from the clearest frozen water. And it's just in time. The sun has set and the night is closing in. Let's take the pillows and the blankets inside the igloo, through the little door. Come on in, everybody, and see how cosy it is in our little igloo.
"Wow, it's beautiful in here,"
says Howard.
"Only..."
What's the matter, Howard? Don't you like it?
"No, it isn't that. I love it all. But the very best thing is that it was made by my friends. I like having friends. I never had any before. Please say you won't leave me just yet. One good night's sleep, and I think I'll be well in the morning."
What do you think? Shall we have a sleepover with our new friend in his magical igloo den? Well, it's too dark for us to get home now, so we'll just have a little rest on the edge of the igloo. But I probably won't get to sleep.
I'm a very light sleeper. "Aye, me too,"
says Colin.
"And me,"
says George. Look, the 3 penguins have all fallen asleep already, all sat up with their beaks tucked into their wings. "Well, it's a lot warmer in here than it is out there," says Teresa, lying down under the covers. "Hey, you gotta look at this, guys. It's the Aurora Borealis, the Northern Lights." And Howard looks like the happiest polar bear there ever was, as we all get into the covers and look through the skylight of ice. Wow, the Aurora Borealis is so beautiful. Dancing green lights across the sky, like a rippling curtain of colour, and the walls of the igloo glitter in soft green light.
I've never been so happy,
says Howard, cuddling under his blankets, and the snow fairy flutters around his head before giving him a kiss on his nose. And as she does, he sleepily closes his eyes and falls into a deep, healing sleep. And now she's fluttering just above you, giggling in the shimmering, peaceful lights of the aurora borealis. And she's planting a kiss on your nose, so softly you can hardly feel it. But as she does, you can feel your whole body become even more relaxed and warm and comfortable in this winter bed, snuggled up with a polar bear. And you can feel yourself drifting into a peaceful sleep. So now I'll wish you good night, and I'll see you on the next adventure aboard the counting ship. Good night.